Hello and welcome to this presentation on remote learning. I offer you warm wishes and hope that you are staying safe and well at home. Would also like to thank you hugely for your support over the previous weeks and months, and in anticipation of it continuing over the coming weeks and months. Thank you very much to all of you, parents, carers and students, for your patience and your resilience. TPS goes online, whole school. Absolutely. From the 11th of January, so Monday the 11th of January, we are offering a full live lesson and support provision for all students in all years. This week has been a hybrid with Year 11 and Year 10 accessing live lessons, but from Monday we will be offering live lessons and support lessons for all students in all years. This presentation will also focus on why we've done this and how we're navigating that landscape, the support that is available to you, a little bit about the shape of the day and how it will work, the expectations for lessons and for core questions, and how assemblies and tutor time will work. So firstly, as Miss Jordan said in her video yesterday, we do not know how long this will continue for. As a minimum, February half term, but we don't know if it will continue longer, and we accept that a full live provision will offer the best support to students as they learn remotely. We've also responded to parental and student feedback with regards to this, and we thank you massively for the questions and the suggestions that you have made. We hope that you find this provision meets those needs and requests. So there will be live lessons. There is a new schedule which will be shared on the next page. I do want to offer my absolute sincerest thanks to all of our staff over the previous days and weeks who have worked tirelessly and through holidays and weekends to ensure that this provision is ready for Monday. Thank you also to our students and parents for being patient and resilient. So, in terms of support for parents, carers and students, if you need to contact the school with regards to remote learning, we would like you to do so in the following ways. Rather than calling through to reception or emailing through to reception, we would like you to access these two email addresses in particular. If your child is experiencing any ICT issues, for instance, the need for a password reset, please email directly to tps.ict@taw.org.uk. If you have any other remote learning queries, please email directly to tps.covidsupport@taw.org.uk. The reason for this is that these email addresses will be accessed more speedily, and it will speed that process up for you and ensure you get a response in a timely way. Many of the other people that you have been emailing in the past, many of the teachers will be delivering live lessons and will not be able to get back to you as quickly. So please do use those two email addresses in the first instance. Students are also encouraged to use those, and that these email addresses will be shared with them too. We have also sent you a document that you can use with your child. You can look at together. If you are experiencing any particular issues with Teams, have a look at that document first, but by all means get in touch with us, get in touch with the ICT department if there are any other issues. Thank you. Okay, so on the screen in front of you, on the right hand side, you can see the timings for the day. Every student will attend an assembly at 8:30. They will be registered in this time. We anticipate that we will move within a couple of weeks to from full school assemblies into breakouts with tutors, but we are working on the provision for that. Initially, those assemblies may only be about 15 minutes, but we do anticipate that we will move to using the full 25 minutes as we break out into tutor groups as well. That is then followed by a very short 5-minute break, really a readiness break or a comfort break. Session 1 will start at 9 AM and will go on till 10:45. That will be followed by a 15-minute break. Session 2 will start at 11 and will run till 12:45, which will be followed by a 30-minute break, and then followed by session 3, which will run from 1:15 to 3 p.m. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the sessions per year group. So, for instance, Wednesday session 1 for year 11s is option D. Year 8s will have technology on Friday during session 1. That is how that timetable works. We appreciate there is a lot of information on there, and you may well wish to come back to this slide in the presentation to look at it specifically for your child or children. I do want to draw attention to year 7 and 8 at the bottom. If your child is in one of the accelerated learner groups in year 7 or year 8, they will follow that timetable across. And the CR is to do with curriculum, and the students know what that means. In terms of how this is going to work, your child's teachers will set up lessons within teams, and they will your child will receive invitations via email to those lessons. They can click the link in the email to access the lesson, or within their team itself there is a calendar on the left hand side, and they can click on there and access the lessons from there too. We will go through this with students on Monday. Many of our students have accessed this already, and there have been very few problems, so we think that this will make everything far easier and far more effective. Okay, this slide here will be displayed at the start of every lesson that your child accesses live, and it's the do's, the don'ts and the do nows of the lesson. This is many of the year 10s and 11s will have already seen something similar. The biggest do to start with is that students ensure their microphone is on mute, and the don't is don't unmute it unless asked to do so by a teacher. This will ensure that the sound quality is better within the call for everybody, and there are no unwanted interruptions. We do ask that students are patient whilst students are being admitted. If they have been admitted to the lesson, for the first few minutes it might be that other students are being admitted, but there will be something to do during that time, which I will come to in a moment. Students need to be ready and willing to learn. They will be expected to contribute to the lesson. They should have their equipment, pen, pencil, rubber, ruler, purple pen, and anything else that the teacher has asked them to have. We recommend that students write notes and that they write down any questions they may have. And because of the remote nature of this, we would recommend that students write down questions and wait for an appropriate time to ask them. Wait for a pause or a teacher to come to the end of an explanation. It might be that a teacher answers it within that. But in all of this, it is important for all of us to be patient, to be fair, and to be sensible. The biggest don't here the biggest two don'ts are that, one, we don't want students to be passive. Teachers will be expecting students to contribute either via the chat or by unmiking or unmuting, or by completing short tasks and sending them during the lesson. Please do not be passive. We want students to be engaged. And the second bullet point here is to do with the chat facility. That facility is there to ask questions, to write contributions, to ask for help. It is not for anything else, and drawing attention to the bold at the bottom, if students fail to comply with those expectations, they will be removed from lessons without warning. It is important that everybody maintains the integrity of these lessons. And the final thing here, all students will be expected to do core question practice at the start of every lesson. So whilst they're waiting to be admitted to the lesson, whilst the teacher is doing the register at the beginning, they will complete core question practice whilst that is taking place. Students will be receiving a core questions booklet and a new little exercise book to do this in. They will be receiving that over the coming day or two. If they do not have an exercise book or they have filled it already, they can just use line paper for this. Don't forget to look, cover, write and check. Students are very well practiced at this, so shouldn't have an issue with it. A little bit more about core questions here. I've mentioned most of it already. They will start the lessons by doing it. We would also recommend that they spend an additional 15 minutes every school day doing core question self-quizzing using the strategy on the previous slide. And we will be introducing from the second week core questions quizzes as part of a homework provision. When we return to school, students should bring their core questions exercise book back with them. If you would like any more information about why we do core questions, please use this website, this web link here. That will give you lots of information on that. In terms of how you can support your child with this remote provision, we totally understand that many of you will be at work, many of you will be looking after small children, but if you can support your child to ensure that they are ready at the start of the school day, that they have their core questions booklet and exercise book with them at the start of each lesson, and that they are completing those 15 minutes extra each day, you can just check that at the end of the day and see how much more that they have done. That support would be hugely appreciated from us. As previously said, all students will be expected to be in their year assembly at 8:30. And as I've already said, we will be moving to breakouts with their tutor at a later stage when everything, the infrastructure is right. You will also receive, as will your child, a daily email from the year team. We will be taking registration in the assembly time, and calls will be made to parents if students are not in attendance. And the final slide is a repeat of earlier. This is how you can access support. Thank you so much for listening to this. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the very best and your child all the very best as they embark upon their live lessons next week. Thank you.